Hello everyone, welcome back to another RaceRoom video. Today we're on one of the pro servers. We're racing in the GT3 class at Spa. Now, the last time we drove RaceRoom's BMW M6, it was a particularly bruising encounter at Portimao. We suffered a couple of big hits, we picked up some damage, and we ended up finishing well down the order. So I'm hoping we're going to have a bit more luck today, and we've qualified well. A time of 2:19.5. It puts us at the front of the fourth row. We're starting from 7th on the grid. So it was a race to forget the last time out in this car, and it was also a race to forget the last time we took on Spa. That was just 3 days ago in iRacing, so the incident at that final chicane is still fresh in the memory. Let's hope we can put it right here. The lights are going green. Oh, look at Gomez in the Audi. That's a great start from P6. He's going to try and squeeze it into that gap, but things are going to get very tight in the source, and we take a hit from behind. It almost spins the car around. The yellow flags have come out, so I'm guessing some other drivers weren't so lucky, but we got away with that. However, now we've got a car on the inside of us. We're going to be too wide going into Eau Rouge. Oh, this is dangerous. All we can do is stay tight and give him space and hope there's no contact. In the end, we let it through. There is contact from behind. I felt a big hit, and then I just looked to the rearview mirror and saw a Porsche disappearing into the barrier. We'll go back and check out the replays to see what happened in a minute, but for now we're making a challenge on Raul Repero ahead. We're just not quite close enough to consider making a move into Les Coupes, so we're going to have to stay tucked behind Repero here. We're in 9th, Repero in 8th, and yeah, the two of us were side by side going through Eau Rouge. My heart was in my mouth, but we tried to give him as much space as we could on the outside. I was hoping that he might back out, but he was brave. He stayed alongside. That gave him the inside through Ranelon and out onto the Kemmel Straight. He had the advantage and he took the position. So yeah, a frantic first half of the lap. Hopefully things will settle down now. I think we've already picked up 8 incident points. First, that knock from behind going into T1, and then we felt some more contact from behind as we entered the Kemmel Straight. We'll go back and check out the replay of both of those incidents shortly, but for now, let's stick with the live action, and we can see if we've got enough pace to challenge Repero, and indeed Seb Salve ahead of him for those 2 positions, because those are the 2 positions that we lost in that turn 1 incident. We started 7th on the grid, we're down to 9th. And we ran it in a little bit hot into that right-hander there. Just felt the car started to slide a bit. The tyres aren't up to temperature. We're a bit low on grip, and that's cost us a few tenths. So the field is starting to spread out just a little bit here. It's 0.6 of a second to Repero now. We've got a little bit of breathing room behind to Rob. So good, they named him twice. No doubt the pack will concertina back together again as we reach this final chicane to end lap 1. And there's a couple of more retirements popping up on the screen there, so that's 3 drivers now DNFing before the end of the first lap. However, we're not one of them. We're going to cross the line in 9th. Right, let's check out the replay, and we'll probably get the best angle of this turn 1 incident from the chopper cam. So let's take a look. That's me on the outside. Now Seb Salve is coming up on the inside. He's in the identical BMW. Then we're going to get joined by the Porsche, who just tries to squeeze in between the 2 of us. There's a bit of contact. It's all a little bit messy, but thankfully we're through in one piece. But now we've got that Mercedes right alongside us. That's Raul Repero. We're side by side coming into Eau Rouge. Now I'm going to hug the inside curve as tightly as possible to give Repero the space he needs. He's going to get by, and then we're going to get tagged from behind by the same Porsche. That's Henrik Hamburg, who also clipped us in the source. Let's ride on board with him now. And it looks like he got a really good line exit in Eau Rouge. Gets on the gas early, flat out, but sometimes you've just got to ease off the gas on these busy first laps. He didn't want to do that. He had nowhere to go, and without easing off the gas, he runs right into the back of me, and he wasn't the only one. Check out the red Team Germany Porsche. He's going to blast into 2 cars on the exit of Eau Rouge and cause an even bigger accident, and they're all going to come to rest alongside Hamburg. So it's probably this incident that explains the number of DNFs on lap 1. Back to the live action then. We've just started lap 2, hitting Eau Rouge for the 2nd time. As you can see, we're still about half a second behind Repero. Can we make any gains down this long Kemmel Straight? I'll tell you who is making gains. Rob behind. He's got loads more speed. Now, I think he might have exceeded track limits to get that advantage out of Eau Rouge, so I'm not going to defend. And yes, sure enough, look, he backs right off. He must have got a slow down penalty for that track infringement. And straight away he's given away a second, so Rob now back to 1 second behind, so we can focus on chasing Repero again. close in a little bit on the entry to the hairpin. Reparo just missed the apex there, but we don't seem to be closing that gap down. It's still 0.8 of a second to Reparo in 8th, so we're clearly very evenly matched on pace here. The same can also be said of Alv in 7th. He's maintaining that 1.5 second gap, but we might not now because he's run way wide. Alv completely missed his line into Puon there. That's allowed Reparo to dive through into 7th. Can we get past as well? We've had to go to the outside because Alv's defending, so I think we're going to have to back off here. There was no way round, but we're right on Alv's tail now. It's a battle of the two identical M6s. Meanwhile, behind, Rob is still a second back, although I suspect he might start to close in now that we've grouped so closely together, because there's a second separating me in 9th, Alv in 8th, and Reparo in 7th. Yeah, it's a classic Puon mistake from Alv. We've all done it. It's so easy just to carry a bit too much entry speed, and that pulls you out wide. Reparo's the one to profit. And Alv is all over the rear of Reparo now. He wants that 7th position back. Is he going to make a move for it into the chicane? Reparo's going to take the defensive line, so that forces Alv out wide. I'm going to get on the brakes just a little bit earlier than normal to give these guys the extra space they need to get through safely. However, that does bring Rob back into play. This 3-way battle for 7th could soon become a 4-way battle, because there's no way we can run at full speed when we're battling this closely together, the three of us. So Rob is going to profit. He's going to have a look up the inside into the source. We've got no choice but to defend, and we managed to. We've held on to the position, but yeah, Rob is well and truly a part of this battle now. Meanwhile, ahead, Alv's BMW is swarming all over that Mercedes as we head into Eau Rouge. Just look how close they are. The sparks are flying everywhere. There's going to be a real challenge now we get onto the Kemmel Straight. Has Alv got the momentum? He's certainly going to use as much draft as he can. But so is Rob behind me. Rob pulls out to the left. Alv pulls out to the left. Me and Reparo are staying defensive. There are 4 cars going for 7th position into Les Coombe. Is there room for us on the inside of Alf? No, there's not. We almost get squeezed out. We have to do our best to avoid contact. We're a little bit offline, but we kept it safe, and now we've got Rob for company again, so we're going to move to the inside line. We want to defend into this hairpin and send Rob out wide. But in fact, he's aborted the challenge for this corner. He's tucked back in behind. Meanwhile, look how close the 2 guys are in front. Alf still trying everything he can to get alongside Reparo, but he just hasn't got that extra bit of pace to do it. Now we're approaching Puon again. We've seen Alv already run wide out of here. Is he going to make the same mistake again? No, he's not. They're both holding the line. And will Alv consider a move up the inside into this right-hander? No, again, he's not quite close enough. However, we are now, because we've closed right in on Alv through this section. We're right back on the rear spoiler of that BMW now. And I've just glanced in the rearview mirror to see where Rob is, but he's dropped back a little bit now. He is now a second behind. So we've got a little bit of breathing room, but I'm sure that'll only be temporary, because when we approach this chicane again, the pack will close right back in. And just like on the previous lap, Alv is all over the rear end of Reparo here, but they're so evenly matched, he just can't get alongside. Is he going to have another look on the entrance to this chicane? We might not get the chance because he's run a little bit wide there. That might give us an opportunity. He's defending, and I wondered if he might have to ease off if he picked up a slowdown, but it doesn't look like he has. He's maintained the position into the chicane, so we're really close again now. Rob's closed in too. Oh no, he hasn't. We've lost Rob. The yellow flag's come out. Rob has binned it on the exit of the chicane. Well, what a lap of battling that was. Let's go back to the start of the previous lap. This was where Rob joined in the fight for 7th place. He had a look up the inside into the source. We managed to defend it. And by the end of the Kemmel Straight, we were in danger of going 4 wide. In the end, it was 2 rows of 2. It was incredibly tight. I came really close to touching Alf there, but we managed to get through it. But we've got Rob right on our tail now. He's going to launch another attack, so we're going to move swiftly to the inside and take the defensive line into this hairpin. And we managed to hold on to the position, but it's great battling here. And over the next few corners, Rob did lose a little bit of time, but we always knew he was going to close right back in when we got to the final chicane with this battle being so close. However, on exit, I think he just gave it a bit too much gas and clipped the green paint. Yeah, he loses the rear end, and that sends him into the wall. Well, we've been complaining a lot in recent races about drivers' inability to race fairly and closely together, but that's certainly not the case here. This is a fantastic battle in front of us. For the best part of 10 minutes now, we've been wheel to wheel with Alf and Ribeiro, and there's been no contact whatsoever. No incidents, just fair, clean racing, and it's fantastic. Oh, we almost get caught out there, just as I was saying. There's been no contact. We almost rear-ended Alf then. He got on the brakes a little bit earlier than I was expecting. We had to take avoided action and just go out a little bit wide on the brakes. We managed to avoid it though, so we're all okay. The battle rages on. And once again we wait with anticipation as we enter Puon. Will one of these guys run wide? They both will! But can we take advantage? We're going to dive up the inside of Alfa alongside, and yes, we've got the pace to get our nose in front of him. Can we hold into this right-hander? Straight away we defend. Oh, we've shifted down into second. That was a pressure mistake. Thankfully Alf didn't run into the rear of us, but we lost a little bit of time then. It doesn't seem to have affected us because we're still right on the tail of Ribeiro's Mercedes. Oh, and another mistake. That's not going to do us any favours either. We clip the gravel. That's going to cost us a huge amount of time, and it might even invite Alf to make a move back. He's going to run alongside, so I think we need to stay defensive here. We're going to hold this line on the left. We know we've got two left-handers coming up. This is the first of them. There's no way through for Alf, so we will hold on to the position, but we've lost valuable time to Ribeiro ahead. He's now nearly a second clear as we approach the chicane for the end of the lap. Oh, we just didn't get the line quite right, and that's compromised our exit out of the chicane, but we're going to finish the lap in 8th position. There's still 2 to go, so can we mount a challenge for 7th? Well, we saw Alf run wide at Puon earlier in the race, and I was living in hope that he might make the same mistake again to give us an opportunity to get by, and that's exactly what happened. We managed to stick it up the inside and just carried enough speed to get ahead of him into this right-hander and hold the position. So that's us up to 8th with 2 laps still to go. Well, we need to be as fast as possible through Eau Rouge this time. We need to bridge that gap to Ribeiro ahead. It's 0.7 of a second. And we've got Alf right on our tail waiting to pounce, and he's going to benefit from some draft. He's going to have some extra speed, so I think the sensible approach here would be to stay on the defensive line. It looks like Ribeiro's had the same thought. No, he's moved back over to the racing line, but we're going to hold it tight here. I do feel a little bit faster than Ribeiro out of that section, and we are a bit later on the brakes into this hairpin. Look how much we close in on him, so that could be an option for the last lap. If we can get alongside him on the inside into the hairpin, there might be a passing opportunity there, but we'll see how the rest of this lap shapes up first. I may just feign a move to the inside into Puon just to see if it spooks Ribeiro into running wide. No, it doesn't. And I'm also going to switch the TV cam on because there's a fascinating battle for 3rd place. We're focusing on Postman Per. He's in 5th at the back of this trio. He's chasing Kushel in 4th and Choto in 3rd. However, he's going to do exactly what we did a couple of laps ago. Run wide on the exit to this turn. He doesn't actually clip the gravel as much as we do, but it still throws him right off. Back to the live action. You can see the yellow flags are out. We're going to round this corner and see Per stranded on the inside. So all of a sudden, we're promoted to 7th. So this is no longer a battle for 7th with Ribeiro, it's a battle for 6th. And with just 1 minute 15 left on the clock, the leader of this race is only 14 seconds further up the road than us. So this next lap is going to be the last one. So it's going to be do or die now. Can we get a top 6 finish? We're going to have to push Ribeiro as hard as we can here. And just for a moment then, I considered a dive up the inside, but we weren't quite close enough. It wouldn't have been safe to do so, so we thought better of that. Okay, so we're going to cross the line there. 1 lap to go, and I think plan A for now has got to be just to stay as close to Ribeiro's tail as possible. Get through Eau Rouge right behind him and see if we can make the most of that draft and extra speed to make the pass down the Kemmel Straight before Les Coombe. Can we do it? We're about to find out. Charging down the hill. Do you know what? Ideally, I'd like to have been a bit closer to Repero here, but we've got to get the perfect line through Eau Rouge to give ourselves any hope. I still don't think we're close enough. It's still 0.4 of a second, but look in the rearview mirror. Alv is certainly the fastest of the three of us, so again we're going to have to take the defensive line. Repero's thought the same. He's moved back over to the left, or has he? He's occupied a place in the middle. There's going to be no way through. We're going to take the tight line. Alf hasn't been able to get through, so we're holding on to 7th position through Lesgoom. So now we need to call on plan B. Can we make a move up the inside into the hairpin? Again, we're not quite close enough. And earlier in the race, we saw lap after lap of Alv all over Repero, but he wasn't able to force his way through, so it's going to be a tough ask to get past this Mercedes now with half a lap to go, but you never know. He may run wide into Pouhon. We've seen it happen a couple of times in this race. All we can do is exert some pressure. He's not going to run wide. He's hit the apex perfectly. So, do you know what? I think we've only got 2 options left. Option 1 is Repero making a mistake, and I don't think that's going to happen. Option 2 is a pass into the chicane, the very last corner of this race. And if we end up attempting a pass in that chicane, it's going to have to be perfect, because the last thing we want to do is cause a wreck. Both these guys have driven fantastically well. Repero in front and Alf behind. They've been so fair, so respectful. So the last thing I want to do is be the one to cause contact in a contact-free race. Well, this is it. We're about to find out. We're approaching this chicane. Are we going to get 6th, or are we going to have to sell for 7th? We've certainly got the pace on Repero. We're closing in 0.2 of a second. Oh, look at Alf behind, right alongside. He came out of nowhere there. Surely he ran over the track limits. We're going to have to defend. No, we're not. He's sounding behind us. We can make the move, but can we cut up the inside on exit? We're side by side up, but we can't hold it, and we've binned it. On the very last lap, we've thrown it away. Yeah, absolutely gutted about this one. Let's check out the replay. For a moment, we thought about defending when Alf was so close, but we didn't need to. But while I couldn't make the move on the entrance, I decided to throw everything to try and get alongside Repero on the exit. It just didn't work. I asked too much of the car. And then, of course, it's really difficult. I couldn't reverse into the racing line. There's too many cars coming. The last thing I want to do is reverse right into the path of an oncoming car. So we have to try and get the car facing the right way as quickly as we can. We can only watch as all those cars come by, and we end up crossing the line down in 13th place. So yeah, bitterly disappointed end to that race. It was such a fantastic battle with Repero and Alf. They both drove brilliantly well. I was really enjoying it. It was so fair. After all the races in recent weeks where we've been punted and knocked off, it was so refreshing to be able to battle so closely with 2 guys and have full confidence and faith that there wasn't going to be any shenanigans. But in hindsight, maybe we should have settled for that 7th position. Instead, we rolled the dice, we gambled on a pass to try and take 6, and that gamble did not pay off. But fair play to Repero, he thoroughly deserved that 6th position, and Alf in 7th. And as for us, we may not have got the result we wanted, but we certainly got the race we wanted, and that's what's most important. Thanks for watching, bye for now.